Hello and welcome everybody to the city of Stockholm as we get ready for the 9th leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour season. We have moved the start time of today's LGCT Grand Prix forward. We are trying to fight the elements. It is a dark, grey, cloudy day in Stockholm today, and we are trying to avoid as much rain as possible to make conditions as good as they possibly can be for the best riders of the weekend to compete for today's big prize and a golden ticket to the GC playoffs in Riyadh later on this year. This is GCTV. My name is Mark Lewis, and who is going to join the list of incredible names on the winner's trophy here in Stockholm? Henrik von Eckermann winning in 2023. Last year that was sensational. Christian Allman, Scott Brash the year before him, and Peder Fredriksson winning in the inaugural year back in 2019. Who then is going to join that list today? We'll find out by the end of the afternoon. A quick wrap to give you some context of what has taken place on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Jean Sadran winning in the previous stage in Paris. Wasn't that sensational? The young under-25 rider upsetting everybody to be victorious in Paris in that 4-rider jump-off last week. And Eduardo Alvarez Asna continues to hold on to the overall championship lead. That, however, can change significantly by the end of today, and we'll give you the details as to what is required for today's competitors in the hunt to overtake Asna later on. That to come later. For now, let's flash back to Paris. Let's look back at that sensational Jean Sadran performance, and what a win it was for the French rider.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Paris for the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Johan Sebastian Gulliksen, Equine America Harwich CDL. Speed 28.4 and home on 4. Smith next. 9 and then jumps into the line as well. Oh, and there it's gone, and on the split time he is behind on Johan Sebastian Gulliksen. Oh, that's gone. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Farrington now feels a little bit of pressure. That means that if Sadran just goes clear, she's going to win this Grand Prix. Here comes Jean Sadran for a historical French win. If she stays clear, there's not a problem, not a cloud in the sky. Dexter de Kerklen, the highest rated horse in this Grand Prix. Is it going to happen? She has won her first ever Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in her career.
It's my first 5-star Grand Prix win here in Paris. I couldn't imagine a better result. It's a dream for the Super Grand Prix. I'm so excited.
It makes me teary-eyed even now, a week later, just reliving that magic from Jean Sadran, the only rider to jump double clear in Paris, the first French winner since 2017 of Julien Epaillard, and that honor goes to the young French rider of Jean Sadran. What a performance from her last week. Who then is going to be the rider that steals the headlines later on today? We have the start list. We will take you through the favorites. We'll take you through the course walk as well later to show you what exactly Uliana Vizzani has done for today's LGCT Grand Prix. But let's talk rankings for a second. Let's remind you as to how it stands now at the end of Paris. What was the impact of that Paris LGCT Grand Prix on the overall ranking? The fantastic season of Eduardo Alvarez Aznar continues as he still holds on to the championship lead. He is ahead of Christian Kukuk and Max Kühner, but only just. Both Kukuk and Kühner are here today. In fact, 7 of that top 10 are present here today and will be competing in today's Grand Prix, which means that you can expect major movement on this table. Andreas Skau as well, by the way, is posting his 8th best score. And we remind you the rules of the Longines Global Champions Tour, only the best 8 scores count. So from this point onwards, Andreas Skau will only be able to improve his worst scores going forward after Stockholm. So now it begins to get rather interesting from a championship perspective. Who then are those front runners? Understandably, Christian Kukuk. Understandably, Max Kühner. But if you recall, Max Kühner had a hand injury a couple of weeks ago. And all of a sudden, he has made a very, very fast return to show jumping back into the ring very, very early. Ben Mayer is here, jumped clear yesterday with point break in the qualifier. And Jean Sadran, as we mentioned, of course, well, after that wonderful win last week, she now gets catapulted inside the top 16. And Simon de Lestre, let's not forget, successful yesterday with the Doha Falcons in the Global Champions League. And all of a sudden, well, could Simon de Lestre put up a bit of a fight as well? Let's talk about what these riders need to do to overtake Eduardo Alvarez Asna. This is important. Eduardo Alvarez Asna finds himself, as you saw there, on 162 points. The question here is now what these riders need to do to overtake Asnad. But let's make it clear, this is not to guarantee them a championship lead. Because if, for example, Gilles Thomas, who is currently ranked 6th, jumps 8th position to take home 29 points, he will overtake Asnad. However, if Christian Kukuk does better than 22nd, he then will take the championship lead. This is purely to overtake Asnad as it stands. 22nd for Christian Kukuk will do that. 19th for Max Kühner will do that. And that gives you the impression that surely those two men are aiming to be far higher than 22nd and 19th. So both could and should overtake Eduardo Alvarez Asna by the end of the day. For Andreas Skau, a top 9 finish. For Gilles Thomas, as we said, a top 8 finish. And any of these championship contenders will then overtake Eduardo Alvarez Asna's 162-point haul. The question now is which of those riders does even better to not just overtake Asnad, but to take the championship lead. That we will find out. I mentioned Max Kühner. Now, what a season he has had. What a stable of horsepower he has. And with that hand injury, he's returned incredibly quickly. We caught up with him to find out how the hand is feeling and how the championship ambitions are feeling as well.
Max, it's great to see you here back after your injury. How has it been? How has your recovery been?
Yeah, it was not that long. I feel good. My hand is not hurting, and yeah, just feel good.
Can we see it though? Because we can still see there it's patched up slightly, so we've still got a bit of a cast on it. Is that just to keep it safe?
Yes, exactly. That's more or less just a protection. I got a surgery with a blade inside and some screws to fix it. And this is just a protection like that. I don't push it too much from outside.
Are you feeling it while you're riding?
No, not at all, no.
That's great news though, because obviously the championship, it must be in your mind. You're currently 3rd in the championship. How much is that on your mind this weekend?
Of course, we like to catch up some more points. I originally also had Paris on my plan to go there, so this I had to skip. And now we hope to catch up some more points for the championship.
Are you aware of how many points you need or where you need to come to go past Edu?
Yeah, for Edu we need some points at least, but I think all over there are only 8 results which are counting. So we still have some more time to get these points, these necessary points, and yeah, hope we will use it.
Fingers crossed for this weekend. Talking of the championship though, a while ago you said it wasn't 100% on your mind, it wasn't 100% your focus. Now where you are, is it more on your mind?
Yeah, of course, and I'm so lucky with my horses at the moment. Also EIC Up to Chaco is a great horse for the global tour. He just won in Saint-Tropez. I'll bring him next week to Monaco, and he's also a great horse to compete in these classes.
Would you put yourself as one of the favourites for the title?
Oh, I don't like to do this. I like to do my job properly, and then we see what comes out.
Well, fingers crossed this weekend. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Very scary for Max Kühner to come back from that injury so quickly. And now, as he says, well, there's just some screws and a plate in my hand, and I have this cast to keep it protected. But I'm going to jump out here and make sure that I can get some championship points and take that overall LGCT lead. Show jumpers are tough, ladies and gentlemen. They are tough, and they are proving it again and again and again. Every single time we see some of these riders return from injury, what they put their bodies through for the sport is simply remarkable. The big question now is, alongside Max Kühner, Christian Kukuk, etc., who then are the favourites for today's LGCT Grand Prix? It's time for us to bring Frederik de Backer into the show to talk favourites, to talk about who we should be keeping an eye on today. Frederik de Backer, welcome to the show, and welcome to the city of Stockholm for today's race. I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but I see the very last name on the start list today, and I cannot look anywhere else other than that. So inform me as to where else I should be looking other than that final competitor to come out the gate today in number 38.
Yeah, I understand, Mark. I mean, we are talking about King Edward and Henrik von Eckermann, highest rated horse in the world, horse with the highest rating ever recorded in show jumping, horse with the perfect record up till now, with nothing but clears over the last, 5-6 meter 60 classes it has jumped. King Edward, last year's Grand Prix winner. I understand what you mean, but Mark, I need you to follow me, because we have to have a look at the other leading horses that are in this Grand Prix, in this start list. For example, it starts with Othello de Guldenboom and Daniel Doosen. Now, this is not yet a regular LGCT Grand Prix horse, but it is a highly rated horse. And then Kühner comes out, Electric Blue Pea. Great results on the Tour, great results outside the Tour as well. One of the top 3 rated horses in this field. So if we were talking about that opportunity for Kühner to overtake Edu Asnar, well, he's brought the right horse. There's no doubt about that. But his qualifying wasn't super, so that's why he is so early to start already at number 13. He qualified on 8 with EIC Julius Kaiser. Then we've got our Miami Grand Prix winner, Peter de Vos, 2 years ago in London. Gilles Thomas, of course, Luna van der Dennenhof. So already we've got those 2 championship contenders very early in this Grand Prix. Now, if you quickly look at the rest of the field, who are you missing? Well, that is, of course, Christian Kukuk. He comes in with Nijs van Zorgvliet. Nijs, of course, we know her as runner-up in the Doha Grand Prix some years ago. That was 1 year ago, when Philip Weishaupt won on Just Be Gentle. But Nijs van Zorgvliet isn't top-rated, only jumped a small volume of meter 60 classes, hasn't jumped a meter 60 5-star Grand Prix just yet. That's why that horse is not in here. All the others have got all fair chances to win this Grand Prix. And what will be special for any horse and any rider that will win this Grand Prix is the fact that they are going to beat Henrik von Eckermann. If von Eckermann doesn't win this Grand Prix, well, then you can not only say that you've won a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, you can also say that you beat the world's best horse and the world's best combination, Mark. So this is it. The advantage championship-wise, clearly for Max Kühner and for Gilles Thomas. Difficult position for Nijs van Zorgvliet and Christian Kukuk, but of course it is von Eckermann with the leading horse.
Yeah, thank you very much, Frederik de Backer. And if we think back to that qualifier yesterday, the ease with which von Eckermann and King Edward was able to get into that position, it just looked as if it was in a completely different league. But as Frederik points out, very much so, that there are a handful of very, very talented riders and horses coming out here. Don't look too far away from Ben Mayer and Point Break. They will be out 31st today. And as you said, Max Kühner as well. Boy, he will be knocking on that door to make up those championship points and overtake Eduardo Alvarez and hopefully go into the championship lead as well. Gilles Thomas, however, will not be feeling as if he's been left out of that conversation. He wants to be involved. He wants to go on and become the youngest ever LGCT champion. Can he do it? Well, I took some time to sit down with the Belgian as GCTV caught up with him ahead of today's LGCT Grand Prix.
Gilles Thomas, are you aware that if you were to be successful this season, that you would be the youngest ever LGCT champion?
I don't really thought about that, but yeah, it can be possible. Yeah, maybe with Hermitage, Calone, and Luna van Dennenhof, I have 2 really good horses, so maybe it's enough. But I think if you have 1 more or 2 more, it always helps. I still have actually Elfra van Beek as a black stallion. He's also capable to jump a Grand Prix, so if it's really necessary, I also can use him. Elfra, I also had him in Miami, Mexico. I also have him here in Stockholm. Also last year he did a few globals. He's only 10, so he has not the experience that Luna has. But yeah, maybe it can be useful also for the overall championship. I think we are now only mid-season, so the way is still long.
If you finish in 8th place or better, you are guaranteed to overtake Asnard at least. If you only need 8th place, does it change your riding style?
Oh, I think it will depend a bit with if I am in the jump-off. It will depend a bit with how many you are in the jump-off. But it's true, I won already in Grand Prix, so I have already my golden ticket. So yeah, maybe it's smart to ride a bit more than for the championship.
Gilles, you were on the podium back in Miami in 2022.
Oh, there was good memories there. I was actually the first 5-star Grand Prix for Luna. And she jumped straight to the podium, double clear to 3rd place. So yeah, also my first ever podium on the Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. So yeah, it was a day to remember. But I think yeah, the last 2 years I gained a lot of experience, I think, because I had many good horses that I could ride good shows. Also with Luna, she's also now 2 years older than in Miami. I know exactly what I have to do in a difficult line with her because yeah, we did it already so many times. So experience is maybe the main key why it's going so well this year. I hope I inspire the youth riders, and yeah, everything is possible if you have to go for it. Like 4 or 5 years ago, it was also a dream to ride this kind of shows, but sometimes it can go really quick when you have good horses and really work hard with it.
Gilles, what would the youngest LGCT champion ever mean to you?
It will be a long way and a hard way because yeah, in the Global Champions Tour, all the best riders are riding in that. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, now that I have good results, I really want to go for it.
And there is a very, very mature comment made there by a young Gilles Thomas, because as you would imagine, any young rider wants to come out and win every single Grand Prix that he is competing in. You come out to the LGCT stage, you want to be victorious, you want to challenge, you want to be aggressive and win a jump-off. But when asked the question whether or not knowing what he needs to overtake Eduardo Alvarez Asno will change his approach, Gilles Thomas says maybe it will indeed actually be quite smart to only jump for the championship. So maybe instead of being ultra aggressive and having fences down in pursuit of another LGCT title, he might just take a step back and look at what needs to be done to get those championship points to continue this pursuit of perhaps arguably an even bigger title, which will be the youngest ever LGCT champion to be crowned here on our tour. So look out for Gilles Thomas a little bit later on today in today's main event. Let's take a break. Let's catch our breath. When we return, we catch up with Fredrik Tobacco once more to find out how the course has been designed by Uliana Vizzani, and we chat to more of some of the big names competing in today's LGCT Grand Prix of Stockholm. We take a break. We're back in a moment.
Elegance is an attitude.
Of course it is.
Welcome back to GCTV. Some light rain beginning to fall over the Stockholm ring here today, and I wonder how much that's going to come down later on today. But for now, we put the weather aside. We put the dark, gloomy, grey clouds of Stockholm aside, and we focus on the hot action inside the ring. Fredrik de Backer joins us again on the show today. Fredrik, a couple of famous fencers coming out yesterday in the Global Champions League, and I wonder what Uliana Vidzani has brought out of the warehouse, out of the stock room for today's LGCT Grand Prix. Talk to us about how the course looks and what is going to be challenging the riders today.
There's a few beautiful cultural fences in this course, Mark. Fences that we need to look out for. At fence 6, for example, the Dalarna horses, the wooden carving horses are now brought back into this course. You've got the Viking ships at 8 and at 13. You've got the Old Town Hall at fence 4. Now, fence 4 already, we'll go into detail in that in a minute. And, of course, the very much feared Aurora Borealis. If you're looking at it on this screen, you see that it has a white front end, but if you flip it around, it's actually blue, and we're jumping towards that dark side. Let's take you through the course. A 90-degree angle in the first approach. That is on 9 strides to fence 2, and that actually 2 to 3 feels very related. It all comes up very quickly, and then I have to quickly go over and look because I just got some information. Then it is a 7-stride approach, if I had it right, from fence 3 in between this triple combination up to fence 4. And fence 4, that is that Old Town Hall. Now it's a full wall that hasn't been jumped this weekend. So some of the younger horses will have a look at it, especially because it comes up blind. You jump your first 2-3 strides straight, and then all of a sudden you have to make that corner to fence 4, and then it'll pop up right there, fence 4, the Old Town Hall. Fence 5, 6, here it's designed with a small dog leg. It's actually a straight line as Vidzani has built it in the end. It is an option. There's an option for 6 or for 7 strides. Slightly open 6, a holding 7, very much holding 7 to those Dalarna horses. Now, if you think about it, you want to get organized well because the triple combination is coming up. And there's a bit of it's a tale of two thoughts or two stories, a coin with two sides. You don't want to rush the triple combination, especially the first part coming in with the vertical. You don't want to fly in and get too deep to the oxer because the 2 oxers to come out are huge. I just got some voice messages from the riders. Those 2 last oxers are really, really, really big, Mark. So in a way, you need a positive flow with momentum. You don't want to be holding and reducing the rhythm to the base of the vertical. You want to be able to ride assertive and positive into that combination. But that triple, Mark, something to keep an eye out for. On an outside 9 or an inside 8, you come to the Viking ships. Then a little bit of a breather before you get a flowing 5 strides into the combination, and then it is about the last line. In-gate is here. Last day of jumping, you jump fence 11, now you have to go straight for a while. Keep your horses focused, keep them alive, keep them active and awake, because you have to jump that Aurora Borealis. And then depending on how you jump fence 12, these 4 strides in the last line will get short. If you get a little bit of a squeezy jump, they'll get long. If you fly over, they'll get short. You only have 4 strides to make the final fence.
Oh, Fredrik, I love the fact that Aurora Borealis has brought in the Viking ships, the Old Town Hall. It looks as if Uliana Vidzani has brought together absolutely the best of the best for today's LGCT Grand Prix of Stockholm to come your way in a few moments' time. Thanks for some feedback there regarding what challenges the riders will be facing. Speaking of, we talked about the challenges. We talked about the top-ranked riders who are looking to try and get those big championship points. One of those names, of course, is Christian Kukuk, who gives a new horse an opportunity today. Nice Franzora Flate will be jumping for Christian Kukuk later on today in the Grand Prix. He's standing alongside Rosie Tapner for some reaction. Rosie, over to you.
Well, a man who currently lies in second in the championship is Christian Kukuk, and he's alongside me now before the Grand Prix today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, very excited for today.
And how's your horse feeling ahead of this? She's looked fantastic yesterday.
Well, I had her out this morning. She felt good. So, yeah, we are happy to compete in the Grand Prix today.
You are second in the championship at the moment. Are you aware of what points you need to overtake Asna?
honestly, no, not really. I know that I'm in a good position, and I'm just trying to catch as many points as possible today. But my expectations are also not too big because it's the first 5-star Grand Prix this year for her. She really tried her hard yesterday. I hope we both can do that again today, and then I just see what's possible today.
Well, I can tell you only need 15 points to overtake him. But also, let's look at this course because it looks like a big course. But tell me, what are your feelings on this?
Yeah, I think we have a few very big fences here actually today. It might be not the last technical, but they're huge fences, I have to say. We have two actually funny fences. One is just behind us here, the second last. This is a really funny looking plank for the horses. I'm quite sure a few of them will spook here, and then you have only 4 strides left to the last fence, but you can walk it up and down as many times as you want, but as long as you are not sure how your horse jumps that plank, you cannot really judge how the 4 strides is running. It walks a meter long maybe.
Well, let's walk it as we go.
Yeah.
So it walks a meter long?
Yeah, it walks a meter long for me, but everything really depends on the jump you get there on the plank. Like I walk it nearly around 20 meters, and that's for me a meter long for 4. So it depends. If you have some horses might spook and jump even a meter longer, then the 4 is normal, maybe even a little short. But you can also have a horse who gets a bit shy and gets a bit stuck on the plank, and then the 4 gets very long, and we have a huge wide oxer here. So
actually, can we have a look at how wide this is? If we come around the side here, we can just see. We never see this angle. It is incredibly wide.
Yeah, it is incredible. So the horses really have to reach the back bar and have to try and have to stretch. But okay, we are on the 5-star Global Champions Tour level. That's the biggest we have over the year. We know that. It's kind of every week the same. And yeah, we will try our best and see what's possible.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck, Kukuk. I'll let you go because I know you need to go and get ready. Mark, that is Christian Kukuk lying second in the championship at the moment. Can he overtake Eduardo Asner?
Thank you very much, Rosie Tapner. Thank you very much to Christian Kukuk. And isn't that an interesting comment as well made by him? So often we'll say that riders might walk a line multiple times, but the point made there by Christian Kukuk is that sometimes you might walk a line as many times as you like, but you still will be unsure as to how the horse is going to react when you get to a fence that can be so tricky. Where does that extra meter then affect? As you say, is that back rail then going to fall down? How much momentum do you have going into the jump? And these are all the points that Christian Kukuk makes, that you can walk that line 10 times, but until you are in that line jumping it, you still are not going to be 100% certain as to how you will perform that jump. As always, we'd like to hear from you on the show. We'd like to encourage you to go and check out @Longines Global Champions Tour on Instagram. We want you to go and find us. We would like you to throw some questions at us that we can bring up for the winner later on tonight. So get involved, start chatting to us. There is a QR code there on your screen. Go and take your phone, go and scan that QR code, and it will take you straight through to our Instagram page, Longines Global Champions Tour. Send us some questions. We'll bring it up to the rider, to the winner that will be here in the studio later on tonight. It is your opportunity to talk directly to today's LGCT Grand Prix champion of Stockholm. The fans, however, have been piling into the stadium and will continue to do so throughout the rest of the afternoon as we get closer and closer to today's start time. Rosie Tapner standing alongside a whole bunch of Swedish fans, and I wonder who might be the favorite here with them today.
I thought we should catch up with some of the fans, and we found a few of them here just before we kick off today. And I wanted to go and ask them, who are they most looking forward to seeing? So who is it that you're most looking forward to seeing today?
Henrik, of course.
Henrik. Henrik.
Henrik.
Henrik and Kingen.
Henrik.
Henrik.
Ja, Henrik and King Edward.
Of course, Henrik.
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 And how excited are you as well to see King Edward, the world's best horse?
Yeah, so excited. I've never seen him live before, but followed all of the big competitions, so really excited.
So you followed his career?
Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Is it going to be almost more exciting to see King Edward or Henrik today?
Both of them.
Both of them, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a phenomenal day. And when he comes into the arena, what is everyone going to do here? We will be cheering for Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward. And actually, I was very lucky because I got to go and catch up with the team themselves. Well, we've got access all areas this weekend, and I've come into the stables to meet with Henrik and King Edward, who you can see already are playing over here. Let's go and have a chat with them. Henrik, it's so lovely to see you and King Edward back again. How are you?
Good, very good.
And how's King Edward?
As long as he gets this, it's very good, yeah.
He can often be a little bit grumpy, can't he?
Yeah, he likes to be alone. Yeah, in this way, he likes it.
You're back in Stockholm, where last year you had the most fantastic win in the Grand Prix. Just why was that such an emotional win for you?
Okay, I was beaten with very little from the year before with Christian Ahlmann, so I was second. And then, of course, to be on the right side of the time. And I had a fantastic weekend. I won other 2-3 classes, and so it was a great, and of course with the best ending of it.
And the crowd as well, to be here in Stockholm. This is your home one for you. What's that like to have a home crowd?
No, I think the Swedish crowd is famous to be very good. Even if you're not Swedish, they really cheer on everyone. But of course, as Swedish, even better. And yeah, you always want to perform good in front of your home crowd.
You know what it takes to win here. So how are you feeling this weekend?
We see tomorrow in the qualifier, but he jumped very good last week, so my hopes are high, and yeah, we see.
I think all the results show us and the public just what a special horse King Edward is, but you know him best, so take away the exceptional results. What is he like as a person?
No, but like you see here, you know, he's very quiet, and you know, you could almost have him in your house as a dog. And he's a very small horse, short legs, but when he comes in the ring, he really grows, and you have a feeling he's a big horse and a big stride and a huge heart. You know, he would walk through fire, and yeah, he all these things, the whole package is there, and that's what makes him such a great horse.
I can also notice that he's got a lion as his toy that comes with him. Is that because he's king of the pride?
Yeah, the king. I mean, the king. Yeah, no, it's actually not mine. It's put on Louise. The girls, they always have, every horse have their little mojo. And yeah, of course, he is the king. So.
He is the king. If you could write a letter to King Edward, if he was a human, what would you say to him?
A lot of thank you in it, for sure. You know, he's given us, not only me, our team, the horse owner, you know, everyone, so much emotions and joy that you could not imagine, you know. So it's something you can't, you know, buy. It's just, you know, something very, very special. And so it will be only thank you, and I hope we can give him back a little bit of what he's been giving us, and that's our hopes.
You really just get the sense of emotion from Henrik von Eckermann, just how deep that relationship with King Edward goes. And that's wonderful behind-the-scenes access from Rosie Tapner, taking us into the stable and hearing those exact words from Henrik von Eckermann about that incredible, incredible horse. As Fredrik pointed out, all of the awards, all of the medals, all of the championship wins, the highest rated horse of all time, and world number one now for months and months and months has been Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward. It is just an incredible pairing, and they will be the very last pair to go. I remind you, for everyone else, everyone on that favorites list of Fredrik de Backer today will need to compete with Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward, who went on to be the best qualifier yesterday and will be last to go today after Kevin Stout and Simon de Lestre on Dexter Fontenay. But there is some updates to come through from today's start list. We have been told, firstly, that Harry Allen is out of today's LGCT Grand Prix. Harry Allen and Lukaku van der Bisschop will not compete. And we have been told as well that despite having spoken to him moments ago, there seems to have been a decision taken from Christian Kukuk that he too is out of today's LGCT Grand Prix. And that opens up a big doorway from a championship perspective. We will try and follow up for you and try and get an update as to how and why Christian Kukuk and Niels van Zorgvliet is out of today's LGCT Grand Prix. For now, let's get into the ring. Let's get today's action underway. This is the 9th LGCT Grand Prix of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stockholm.
We're right by the water in the Olympic Stadium that hosted the 1912 Olympics and the 1956 Olympics as well, or at least the equestrian disciplines of the Olympics when it was Australia to host those Olympics. Now we have come once again to this Olympic Stadium. This is very good home ground to the Swedish riders, with, of course, King Edward and Henrik von Eckermann very successful last year. Peter Fredriksson on the inaugural edition, but plenty of other Swedish riders have performed very strongly here. And for this 9th Grand Prix of the season, the 5th one in Stockholm, we actually have 8 Swedish riders qualified for this Grand Prix. There you have those names. What a list. Von Eckermann, Ahlmann, Brash and Fredriksson, they've won this Grand Prix in the previous 4 runnings. Who will put his or her name on the trophy this time around this afternoon? It is just 2 minutes past 11 local time here in Stockholm. Why is this Grand Prix held so early? Well, very bad weather is expected to come over Stockholm in the next few hours. So to make sure that we're jumping in safe conditions and in the best conditions for all those valuable horses, and especially for this very important championship. That is why the competition has been moved forward. The standings: Alvarez Aznar is not present. Kukuk is elects not to compete in the Grand Prix. Kühner with the biggest chances now to overtake Edu Aznar, then Van der Vleuten, who isn't here. Schouw, Thomas, Philippaerts and Arquetin are, and they all have actually a very, very good position on the standings, with Max Kühner, if he finishes 18th or better, he overtakes Edu Aznar. If Schouw finishes 28th or better, he overtakes Aznar. If Gilles Thomas finishes 29th or better, he overtakes Aznar. And I've said that wrong. It is the number of points that they need to collect. In the case of Kühner, he needs to finish 19th, Schouw needs to finish 9th, and Gilles Thomas needs to finish 8th. This is the course that Dojano Vezzani has built for this 9th Grand Prix of the season, and in his course you'll see a lot of Swedish culture. Start on the Oxo of the Longines Global Champions Tour, a 9-stride approach on the outside to the golden rails of Norvik, nearly 90-degree approach, as you can see. From 2 to 3 it's not related, but they'll come up really fast to Lucano Diamonds, and then on a slightly flowing 9 strides, again a 90-degree corner, there is the Old Town House, the Old Town City Hall, the full-face wall that has not been jumped this weekend, so that'll be somewhat of a surprise for some of the horses. Do you do 6 or 7 in this line from 5 to 6? 6 is running forward, 7 is holding towards the Dalarna horses, but with a triple combination coming up fast, maybe the 7 is a little bit nicer in order to then be powerful to come out of the triple. It is vertical and then 8 meters 10 to the Oxer at meter 60 width, and then again meter 60 width for the next Oxer. There is 11 meters 10 between those last 2 giants in this Olympic Stadium. Oxer to Oxer, 11 meters 10 between the big power test, and followed by a Liverpool towards the ingate. And if you go towards the ingate, the next turn is away from the ingate. Black rails at 9, and then a flowing 5 strides into a delicate combination, the combination of Oxer to vertical 10A and 10B. There it sits. It says Birch Oxer on the course plan, but apparently Vezzani with a last-minute change in terms of colors. Unicolor rails That is what the 3D graphic tells us, and both elements at maximum height. The last line comes up next. Time allowed is set at 81 seconds. This is the narrow fence of the Global Champions Gate. Then it's an open distance, 2 fence, 12, and depending on how you jump Aurora Borealis, it is then 4 strides to the Viking ship, and it's short or long depending on how you come over that fence. 12, the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Light, as a penultimate fence. So 81 seconds is the time allowed. It all comes from the crayon, the pen of Ujano Vedzani, and in the end, I think 36 are going to take on this Grand Prix course. We started the day with 38 riders on the list, but I've got informed that both Christian Kukuk, that is a surprise, and also Harry Allen will not compete in this Grand Prix. Has that got to do with the size that is realistic? Starting order, Nadia Peter-Steiner with her powerful low comment. That's a good horse to start with. Then Giores, Lady Amaro with Mark McCauley. Dosso on the up-and-coming Otello Levy with the young horse Higgins. Then we move on to Long John Silver. There's Kyle Tim, newcomer as well. Kühner is 12 to go with Electric Blue. There is Konkidam there, Peter Fredriksson. Vroom de la Pomme, the 2021 champion Fredriksson. And of course, the 2021 winner of this Grand Prix. No, that was in 19. Further down, Thomas has won in Shanghai already. Guéry with Kelom de Us. Messi, the Cannes winner. And then Miro, Point Break, CCBGN of Wilma Hellström. And at the end, the world's highest rated horse, King Edward, with Henrik von Eckermann. Echoes from the course walk, big oxers, difficult triple combination as the rain has just started to fall. How is this horse going to handle that triple combination? We know that he can twist and turn, do anything with his body. These two Grand Prix winners are still discussing the course, Guéry and Wattele. And in a few moments we will listen to the Swedish national anthem being sung here by Klara Hammarström. As Max Kühner is warming up Electric Blue P. Klara Hammarström from Stockholm herself, about to sing the Swedish national anthem that we know so well, especially when Peter Fredriksson won here in 2019 on All In, and the whole stadium started to sing the national anthem.
Jag vet att du är och förblir vad du var. Ja, jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden. Ja, jag vill leva, jag vill dö i Norden.
And I will never leave you up in the north. The last words of the Swedish national anthem, Du gamla, du fria, you ancient, you free, a song, an anthem written in 1844 by Richard Dybeck. And that resonates beautifully here in this Olympic Stadium of Stockholm. Stockholm's stadium, as the inhabitants of the Swedish capital call it, their nickname. They don't want to refer it to it as Olympic. No, it is theirs. It's their stadium. Can she make it hers? Nadia Peter-Steiner with her stallion, No Comment de Septon. Which comments can she make? About this 9th Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of the season, and especially about the course that has been built by Uiano Vezzani. No comment by Jensen van der Meulenhof, Niels Bruinseels' breeding stallion out of a Couleur Rubin mother. The Swiss, who's based in France. Well, let's see how this plays out, and especially how they will handle the time allowed. 81 seconds. Course of 13 fences. And Nadia Petersteiner to discover the course with. Starts at the vertical of Longines Global Champions Tour. She goes for a very long and straight approach. On the right, you can also come on the left. And 9 to Norwieken. And 7 to the wall. Brave there at the Old Town Hall. The front rail at Lugano Diamonds gone for Nadia Petersteiner. Easier for them on their big stride to go on 6. And now the test of power. Plays with it. Ooh, 7 to the plank. He got a little bit short. 81 seconds time allowed. She would be good for the clock. And there's a second rail at the Liverpool. Oh, lucky to come out all over the back rail of that double. Gone as well, and then the 4 rattles. It's 12 in the end in that approach for Nadia Petersteiner. That round of Nadia Petersteiner with No Comment de Septon. 12 is the score. Time a second and a half inside the time allowed. With the knowledge that left or right, she did leave out a stride or two.
So our first look as to how this course might well play out. Nadia Petersteiner with 12 penalties, a couple fences, including Aurora Borealis going down. The question now is if you want to watch the rest of the riders come out, if you want to watch Mark McCauley, followed by Daniel Deusser, Edouard Levy, and the more and more top riders competing for today's LGCT Grand Prix of Stockholm, sign up for a GCTV live pass right now and come join us for the rest of the action of Stage 9 on the Longines Global Champions Tour.